Welcome to Heal into Happy. I invite you to take an adventure with me into your very own universe as I guide you to go within, release your fears, and become empowered to create a life you love. I am your host, Lark Allen. My intention is to help you shine a light on everything that is keeping you from being truly free. You can expect this healing journey to be filled with love, laughter, clarity, and fun. Are you ready to take a leap of faith? Let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have Brandon Muschenick on today on our Heal into Happy second season as we are exploring how to co-create heaven on earth together. Brandon is 27 years old. He is a musician and he is living in the New York area of the United States of America. And he is anchoring in so much love and light, and his perspectives are profound. And through Charlene, that has already been on the podcast, I met Brandon, and then Brandon introduced me to his friend Peter, and we are like having just bliss conversations, and we're anchoring in so much yumminess together. So I will eventually have Peter on, and then I can't wait for us to have Brandon, Charlene, and Peter and me on a podcast where we're just exploring all kinds of amazing conversations. But before that, I want you all to get to know Brandon on his own. I am so excited to know he's out there existing, 27 years old, and this much intelligence and spirituality and knowing. It's just my pleasure to introduce Brandon. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I've enjoyed getting to know you over the last couple of weeks, and I feel like there's just so much that I want to ask you about. But I thought, well, the first thing is for us to explore co-creating heaven on earth, which I have a feeling you're just doing in every now moment. And then I would love to have you on in the future to explore other topics as well.
Yeah, absolutely love that. And I just want to say that I'm very, very happy that Charlene had introduced me to you so that I could introduce Peter. And I just think that we have a really wonderful group going on filled with loads of potential. I definitely think that that was all divinely coordinated and that it was meant to be, for sure.
Yeah, I feel it too. I just feel like, yeah, when we're all together in that chat and discussing such important topics, it's doing more than just expanding our own consciousness. It's doing a lot for our whole human collective.
Right. I cannot possibly engage in that group without feeling like it is just a clean, untouched zone of light. So I know that, again, as I said, it has loads of potential, and I can't wait to see where all that's going to go.
I know. Me too. Me too. Okay. So let's start exploring these questions.
Sure thing.
Question number 1, tell me a time that you have experienced heaven on earth.
Well, first thing that comes to mind, I was in a room and I had my partner here at the time and a couple of relatives and friends. So I had a girlfriend with me, I had my cousins, and I had some friends. We all just had this quiet moment, and I had the music playing, and I could really actually feel like I looked around me. And the key word was I felt a sense of empowerment, and I let go of everything else. And I was just completely immersed in that moment. My girlfriend, my family, my friends all together, it all felt like one. And I can't forget that I could actually feel like the music was reverberating and it was echoing everywhere. It was a sense of empowerment that came with a sense of feeling at one with everything. And I could really just feel like I was in the music and I was immersed in the moment there. So that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Wow, that's really beautiful. I love that. Just everyone feeling loved and connected.
Yeah.
And of course, music has got to be there for it to be a perfect now moment.
Yeah, just everyone being together. I felt like on a personal level, I felt like I had brought everybody together. It was just a moment. And like I said, I felt completely in my power. And I believe it was through my intention, like we have done co-collectively with this group, of bringing everyone together, regardless of any differences that we may have had. You can feel a certain type of energy. So I guess the main theme there was definitely empowerment and connection and bringing people together into oneness, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A second time I actually had that. This comes to mind too. It was actually a dream. It was a bit of a peculiar dream. It might sound a little silly, but I was a dolphin. And I was.
Ooh, I love dolphins.
It's said that they are not really from this dimension, that they're actually fifth dimensional creatures.
And whales, and they're helping us anchor in and help us remember.
And actually, just a week ago, these are the two things that come to mind when I think of times where I've personally experienced heaven on earth. I was actually reading an article, and it was all about the dolphin's brain, where there something cortexes, something equivalent to maybe our frontal lobes, right? First of all, the brain is very similar to a human's brain, and it's said that they're wildly intelligent and they're obviously very empathetic. They're actually like far more developed than our brains are. And the other reason I want to bring up this dream in particular, because it felt almost realer. Like, I'm not sure if it was really a dream. Maybe I had astral projected, perhaps, or maybe it was a memory from a past life. And I could actually feel like, just I was a dolphin swimming in water, and there was another dolphin, and we were making our little noises. But through our noises, almost like a form of sonar, there was like a form of like telepathy. Like, I can feel that the other dolphin was happy and I was happy. And again, it was just completely immersed in the moment. We weren't wondering about anything. And I had a companion, and the only way I can describe it, it was just so unbelievably exhilarating and real. I had felt more alive than as if I wasn't dreaming, in quotes, dreaming, perhaps.
Right.
And it was just such, I guess that's the main theme there, is a deep sense of connection. Okay. And I think the point is that as human beings, we have the potential to foster this kind of connection, maybe not only with other people, but any living creature for that matter. Okay. So, and just want to jump back to what I was saying before when, it's pretty simple. I was in a room, there was some music playing, common thing, but I just felt like, kind of like I made this all happen. I brought it together. I put a particular song on. I was trying to sort of make everybody happy, make myself happy in a way. And regardless of some being friends, some being family, my girlfriend, different gender, not my family, it all felt like we were family. It felt like we were completely one. And I want to rotate back to that very special dream. I don't know if I want to call it a dream that I had, where it was the same sensation and there was companionship. There was not one. I was in the form, as funny as this to say, of a dolphin. And there was another, and it was just that sense of ultimate connection to the point that we both knew what we were thinking and feeling. Yeah, pretty much all I have to say about that.
I love it so much. So what did it feel like to be able to be that free and to be swimming that effortlessly and with that much skill? And I mean, it sounded like you could also feel that you had more of a brain expansion and clarity.
Absolutely. What did it feel like? There maybe are no words to describe what it feels like. Definitely, in a relative sense, exhilarating. And I felt completely alive, completely in joy, and nothing could stop or impede on that joy. It was a feeling of bliss, maybe even euphoria. I would love to feel that way all the time.
Maybe that was an invitation to remind us that that's always available to us when we let go of the ego and we let go of all of that. And what Peter was telling us about meditating and just feeling the light that we are. Like when he was explaining all of that, that's the feeling that I got, that you got in the dream as the dolphin.
Wow. Very cool.
Wow.
You're dissolving all barriers, being in the moment. And as we know, the ego creates, probably in one way or another, creates more barriers than most things, if not anything.
Yeah, we like to say that it's like all of these external things, but it's really just the egoic mind that keeps us from feeling that bliss all the time. And it's just letting that dissolve more and more and more and feeling into the light that we are.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely makes problems out of things that are not problems. It looks for a problem. It hunts for a problem, you could say, for sure. So since we're the creators, we forget that we're the creators, regardless of whatever any perceived issue or perceived circumstance. And it takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of time and practice to get good at this. You can make anything you want out of anything, whether it's good or bad, terrible, or even traumatic. For instance, you could look at it as a lesson. You can essentially transform it into something that actually was a stepping stone to growth, for instance, and you can heal from it by connecting with other people. That's one good example. Or like you were saying, going very deep within yourself and just focusing on the light that is within you until you know that God, the source, that energy, that ultimate creator energy is something that is within you and you have full access to this energy at any given time. You have to bypass the barriers created by the ego and you have to be self-aware and attuned to yourself so that you can ultimately make that process complete.
Yes, I completely agree. And I love how you were putting it out there. Like, was it another lifetime where you are simultaneously living as a dolphin? We are so multidimensional, and just being open for all of our listeners. Our dreams are guiding us. Our dreams are showing us so much, messengers. Yes. And so having a dream journal by our bed when we wake up and we're not all the way awake, to be able to write down all of the things that we're experiencing in our dream state. And we're all having more and more vivid dreams because more and more the veils are being lifted and we're ascending and our vibration is growing higher and higher. So we're more in tune to more. So I feel like this was brought up for a really important reason for all of us to feel into having a dream journal right next to our bed and starting to tune into what we're experiencing at night more and more.
Yeah, it sounds like absolutely a great idea that way, because it's definitely easy to forget dreams, especially as the day goes on. And, even if it wasn't, the most pleasant dream, you can still maybe extract something from it, some useful information that could help us on our path, especially if we are focused or we want to be focused on a spiritual path. And it could help us with also interpreting symbols or signs that God might give us, even just in our daily lives, whether we're working or whatever we're doing,
Yes, absolutely.
cultivating that third eye, per se.
Yeah. Okay, question number 2. Here's a magic wand, and with this magic wand, you can create heaven on earth. What is heaven on earth for you?
I would love to see all people of all different races and cultures, animals even, and the nature, land, the sea, the beaches, the rainforest, all just coexisting in harmony, where nobody wants to take something from another, where everybody is equal, they're viewed as equal, and they can equally contribute to all of creation. Obviously, there's no war, there's no famine, there's no poverty, there's no hatred. And all beings of the earth, regardless of race, color, and creed, and all creatures can exist in perfect harmony with each other, a world where there's no pollution and everything is clean, and we're grateful for everything that the earth has to provide, and the earth is grateful for us. That's what I imagine.
It's so beautiful. I love it so much. I feel like it's a place that everyone is coming together, and I just see like a whole bunch of round tables with that equality. Like we're all coming and we're just bringing our most beautiful parts of ourselves to the table and enjoying yummy fruits and vegetables, realizing
Yes.
how healing that, Mother Nature is, and all of the things that she brings, the herbs, the spices, the, homeopathic things. And
Everything. Yes.
Yeah. Laughing, and our inner children feel so content. I love that so much.
Absolutely amazing. And I totally believe that with the right participation and the welcoming back of God, and to even know God as ourselves, is essentially what we need to create such a world.
Yeah, I was listening to Kaya Ra that created the Sophia Code, and she was saying that if all of us just were internally just like finding peace within and choosing peace, immediately the ascension that we're all talking about would happen, and all of these external forces that seem to be aggravating us, everything would just dissipate. We would just raise our vibration so high that we would be beyond all of that. I just love feeling into that. And I feel like more and more, I don't know if it's because I'm just focusing on it, but that's pretty much all I can see. I just see and love and appreciate everything. And so many of us are coming together and creating that in our own little pods. And I feel like that's just multiplying. And I love to think that there's like millions of little chats like we have with our little group where we're co-creating things together. That's happening everywhere.
Yes, and people crave connection. I just want to point out that that's absolutely amazing and phenomenal that you can almost or pretty much only envision that you are that powerful that you can only envision that, and that you are that important relative to the planet's collective awakening and the deconditioning from the old world that we think is the is-all, end-all. And what I also wanted to say was just by, being able to connect with other people who have a like-minded vision and or who have like-minded intentions, that we certainly need that. It gives us a sense of fulfillment. It can give us a sense of purpose and a sense that, we're not alone. I'm sure that there's many, many people out there of all different ages, races, color, creeds that are in line with this kind of thought process or dream. And it is more than merely a thought process and a dream. And I'm sure that they just, they're looking for somebody or something that can help them to get their vision out and to feel like they're not alone in what they feel and what they're thinking, because they're absolutely not. For the most part, I would say almost all of us would like a better world. And if we truly want to unite with each other, we need something to agree upon to come together with. There's truly nothing that is separating us from doing this other than our own insistence on our willingness, whether it be subconscious or conscious, to feed into our own ego mind or a head mind, which we can only do when, we're not really aligned or in tune with our own soul. So if we know that we are a soul, that we each have a magnificent identity, there's no reason to compare or contrast ourselves with anybody or anything. Doesn't matter how we look or what, because we're all unique. We're all a unique piece of the puzzle. Not one piece is exactly the same, but it's impossible for that puzzle to exist without each piece. That's each piece is unique. So there's something about everybody, and I do want people to come together. There's something about everybody that is unique, that they have a gift. And it doesn't matter how they've been looked at or labeled or judged in their life. You just have to look at that thing about you, that gift that you have, you to bring to the table, to the world. And when you embrace that in yourself, you can embrace that in another person too, and you can help them do the same exact thing. And this is how we build a network. This is how we build a team. Okay? And the more that we connect with one another, the more we know that there's nothing that can actually take us apart. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
I mean, yes. And I feel like this is another important part that was supposed to come through for our listeners. Really starting to look around with love. Who are the people in your life that would love to start a messenger or a text message thread or something where you can communicate, even something face to face, where you're meeting at a park and you're earthing and it's you and another person, and maybe that grows and grows and grows where it becomes more and more people. You can have little meetings and you're just rampaging about co-creating heaven on earth and what peace looks like and what your dream life looks like, and supporting one another and bringing that in and anchoring in that spirit and that potentiality. And then it just happens, it just happens. And so really encouraging all of our listeners to go out this week and decide to put together a group and invite people to start having this conversation, just like we're having right now on this podcast. And, pivoting away from anything that might be fear-based that's out there in the collective and returning to love and creating what you would like to see in the world instead of what's being presented to us.
Right. Right. Yes, remembering that we are powerful co-creators and, that we can only truly co-create with God as God. It's the only really most responsible way to create. And when I say the word responsible, something comes to mind because to rewind a little back into what you were saying, we, in the most simple way I can put it, we should view our responsibilities as more than doing our 9 to 5 or whatever it is, or paying our bill or, attending to family matters, whatever it may be. It's so easy to forget, but it's also so simple to reintegrate this idea that we do actually, and it's not a heavy burden, we will actually feel better while we're doing this. We actually also, we have our spiritual responsibility, our core responsibility, if you wish, to want to bring people together and to bring light into this world, to want to find like-minded individuals and to maybe form a group, form a team, and to bring that light to places where it's needed so that they or we can all unite and essentially be a lot of steps further to creating that heaven on earth. So I just want to put emphasis on the idea of accepting and integrating this in whichever way you interpret it as an essential responsibility that is not a burdening one, but actually a very enlightening and a very relieving one. So we should definitely accept that and integrate that as a core responsibility for sure, and see that it's if not, it's equally as valid, or if not, maybe even more pertinent than the current level of existence that the majority of people are entertaining at the moment.
Yes, 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 yes. I completely agree with that.
I think it feels great. You feel responsible when, you're doing this, something's missing. Here's the beauty, regardless of who you are or how old you are, doesn't matter if you're 0 or 70 years old, it feels good to endow this personal responsibility on myself. And here's the thing, if you're happy, you're releasing this happiness into this world, into collective fishbowl of energies, if you wish. It's a great feeling to know that you have this kind of responsibility. It's not a daunting feeling. It's almost like a magical thing. I want to call it a magical thing. Yes. And
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and even if you feel like, okay, well, nobody's around me that could do that, just simply going out and smiling and having an eye connection with someone, there are other people out there that are ready and willing and praying for a community like this to be flourishing and to be created. So,
right.
Yeah.
It all starts within me, and it all starts within you, regardless of how many people are not doing it. All starts within you, and it all starts within me.
Yes. Okay. Question number 3. What simple, easy, concrete step will you take in the next 24 hours to make heaven on earth real?
Well, I'm going to have to remind myself that I am the creator of my existence. If I choose to do good for myself today or another person, that it's going to sort of have like a ripple effect. I'm going to consciously choose to remember that I am responsible for my life and my circumstances. I'm going to try not to feed into any limited ego or head mind thoughts, and just be completely immersed in the idea that I am fully responsible for my reality, because all individual change leads to change in the perceived world, the outside world. So I'm consciously reminding myself that I am in control of what I feel, and that I know who and what I am, and that life is a journey. And one of the most exciting parts of this journey, because really the main gift we have to bring to the world is ourselves, our true identity, our core identity. I'm going to remind myself that, as time goes on, I may learn and discover things about myself that, are interesting and that are exciting. So as much as I know and have a grasp on who I am now, there's always going to be more in the future, even though really all we have is the now, but there's always going to be more than what is here right now. So we can focus on what we're building and what we want to create, and we can simultaneously be grateful for what we have now. And we can view every single situation, whether it seems negative or not, as a gift and an opportunity to be pliable, to be adaptable, and to make something constructive out of it, to make something good, regardless of whatever it is. It could be anything, it could be any seemingly silly little thing, So that's the main thing right there, is remember that I'm responsible for my reality. That's what I want to do, because the truth is we all have to do this at the individual level. We should choose to be conscious, and we should take steps that will eliminate any need to get involved in the fuss of it all, whether it be political or your relationship or even family dramas, and that we are responsible for any kind of reaction that we have to anything, no matter how absurd or ridiculous it seems. Because what we feel and what we think is all sort of rippling out into the universe as we know it. So that's the key there, is that it all starts from within myself, within you, Lark, within every individual listener out there. Nothing is going to change unless it changes from within you. And you're sort of in control of how you want to perceive and how you want to react to any given situation, no matter how chaotic the situation wants to present itself. And yeah, it's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Yeah. So everything that you said was so stepping into your own sovereignty.
Yes, yes.
And that you're taking responsibility for your own spiritual maturity, and that we're going from this spiritual infancy and we're going into spiritual maturity, and we're feeling into sovereignty and personal responsibility.
Yes.
That is absolutely how we co-create heaven on earth, by taking responsibility for all of our parts and going within and discovering the universe that we have within us and celebrating it and anchoring in the light that's always available to us. And yes, thank you so much. Thank you for being of service in that way, because each of us doing that is everything.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I truly hope anybody listening, whether they're happy or whether they're pissed off or something much worse, is just like I was saying before, with the whole key factor of personal responsibility. It's not something that should scare you, because responsibility can be a little frightening sometimes, especially if you already are kind of juggling a lot of responsibilities on your hands. That it should be a very extremely good feeling, that it should be an extremely good feeling. It's nothing that should scare you at all. Empowerment is essentially what it is you have the choice to empower yourself at any given moment of time, to take in this frequency, to take in all the things that me and Lark just discussed. And there's really nothing stopping you other than yourself. You're either in a powerful creator mode or in a victim mode. But here's the kicker. Even when you're in a victim mode, and you will be a victor, you're still consciously creating as a powerful creator, that victim mode. I hope to inspire everybody to just, realize that you have the power to change the world by changing yourself. Anybody listening at any given moment in time, just by making a conscious choice, by switching on a conscious light switch, you can be contributing to a better planet and a better life. You won't have a better planet without bettering your life. And the more people who actively engage in doing this, the more the joy and the compassion, all the good things will just grow and grow and grow. And I just want to say that everybody has a voice. How much you want your voice to reach and influence others is dependent on you. Okay, everybody's equally powerful to be responsible for themselves, so that they can better be responsible for the fate of the world and everyone and every living creature. And all you have to do is trust in your heart, your soul's guidance, synonymous with your heart, and allow yourself to feel good and to make that choice if you wish. And,
That's so good.
It's okay to feel good. It's all right to feel alive. It's even more excellent to spread that joy, and you will, just by feeling it,
Yeah, I feel like you just gave all of us permission to just feel blissful, to look into, feel into, start daydreaming about what makes us feel good, what makes us feel blissful, and to do that in every now moment. And that is a huge service to humanity. Like if we were all just doing that, again, that would be like immediate ascension of our planet.
Right. 2 key words here, especially for men in my age group, but absolutely not limited to men or women in my age group. Right, as in you have a right. Thank you for saying that. It's making me kind of applaud in happiness. And the responsibility. And that responsibility doesn't feel like a responsibility. It feels great. Then you actually feel like you're endowed with this. It's so freaking good that you have the power to make a better world in your life and in the perceived external world, just like that. It happens simultaneously. It can only happen that way. Okay. And that's why, the first two things that came to mind in the beginning of our podcast session were those moments. The two times I recall heaven on earth, it was connection and it was bringing everybody together. There was definitely some differences between all of us, but it didn't matter because that was an illusion. And, everyone and everything, we felt in perfect harmony. And I honestly felt absolutely amazing. And I was in my power because in that moment, I knew that I was responsible for the creation of my world. So, yeah, everyone has a right and a responsibility. You have a right to choose at any given time, and you have a responsibility to do so. And that responsibility is freedom. It feels like freedom. It doesn't feel like a burden. It actually feels like freedom. And that's pretty much what I wanted to add on to that.
I feel like as I'm listening to everything too, that one of your big special gifts and one of the keys to the puzzle is you bringing people together in community live, like you turning on the music, being the DJ, helping with the flow of the room, and you reenacting that heaven on earth experience more and more and more, I'm seeing you doing that more, and just you having a natural conversation in itself is a huge awakening for humanity.
Thank you very much. Thank you for pointing out that is a huge awakening for humanity. So I would like to agree and say that's one of my gifts, for sure, one of my special gifts. And I hope that, like I was saying earlier, the puzzle thing, that everybody has a special gift. And doing these processes that we're elaborating on, you can find your special gift. And then when you do and you embrace it in yourself and others, there's no need to compare, because that's not truly in our true nature as souls. And we need to be aligned with our true nature to create that heaven on earth. And that's what we all truly want at our core. I'm sure we all want a better and a peaceful life for ourselves and all the people we love and care about, our entire earth family, so we all have a right and a reason and maybe even a responsibility to find that special gift. It's one exciting thing, and again, I just want to personally thank you for mentioning that. That feels really freaking good because I know at least one of my special gifts.
Yes, it is definitely one of your special gifts.
And I feel endowed with the responsibility and my right to do so, to choose to consciously create with this blessing. Thank you.
Brandon, it's been such a pleasure to have you on. I feel like there's so many pearls of wisdom that have come from this. I can't wait for it to launch for us to listen to together and we can all have conversations from it. I feel like it's a ripple effect already in our collective.
Yes. Yeah.
I already together. Feel it. Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. The pleasure is truly mine, Lark, and I feel blessed and I feel privileged to have this conversation with you today, and I feel incredibly grateful as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So until next time, Brandon and I are offering you so much love and so much light, and we look forward to seeing what all of you do with all of these pearls of wisdom that Brandon just gave us. Until next time.
Thank you for joining me today on Heal into Happy. My prayer is that you have gained more insight into your healing journey and that you are one step closer to loving yourself more fully in this now moment. And if you could do me a favor, please leave me a 5-star review over on iTunes. My passion is empowering others on their healing journey, and with your review, you may help others struggling to heal find this message. Be sure to visit me at healintohappy.com for past episodes and more ways to connect with me. Also, please always remember that I am offering you so much love and light as I celebrate the divine sovereign being that I see in you.